Thank you for joining us for this late edition of The Edge. I'm Jessica Dupnack. Tragedy tonight in Clinton Township. A pedestrian is gravely injured after getting hit by a car. Fox 2's Lauren Edwards has more from the scene.
So I was standing up at the register and I saw the flashing lights of an ambulance.
Clinton Township police are investigating an accident on Harper Avenue near Metro Parkway where they say a pedestrian was hit by a vehicle and is now gravely critical in the hospital.
The paramedics were trying to resuscitate her. Everyone is walking out as well, all freaked out.
Joe Eldick, who works at the nearby 7-Eleven, says he did not see the accident, but once he heard it, he stepped outside.
I watched her for like 5 minutes trying to get revived, and here comes the gurney picking her up.
Now, we did get a chance to speak with the father of the driver. He says that right now he and his family do not want to go on camera, but they do say that two families' lives are forever changed.
Well, people walk on the road all the time over here, especially to get to this location.
Harper was blocked off for hours as the investigation continues. Eldick says he's still processing what he saw.
It's weird because I don't know the full story. I'm surprised that everything is all right at the end.
In Clinton Township, Lauren Edwards, on The Edge.
A Volkswagen Beetle trapped between barriers in Ann Arbor. This unusual crash scene took place at the Arbor Farms market on West Stadium this morning. We're told an elderly woman was behind the wheel. She refused medical treatment. The brick facade was damaged, but the structure itself and windows were not. All right, Rich Luderman, no snow out there, but what we do have, a lot of fog. Again, every tower cam we see.
That's right. It's fog, it's dreary, but it's not all that cold, Jess. And really, over the next couple of days, it's going to stay on the mild side. So we are not talking about freezing temperatures and certainly no ice or snow in the forecast. What we do have is this big area of low pressure spinning over a good chunk of the eastern U.S. You can see there are areas with steady rains. Up there around Traverse City and Cadillac, it's coming down pretty good. Also, some rains for southern Illinois and southern Indiana. Take a look as we zoom in. You can see some light sprinkles crossing the region, steadier rains up there to the west of Saginaw, closer to Ferris State, and also approaching central Lake Michigan. How about some live pictures from Gaylord? And it is kind of soupy up there, 40 degrees, temperatures still way above 32. So even as far north as Traverse City, Gaylord, and the Sioux, no mention of icy roadways or snow in the forecast. You can see the light showers up around Flint and Grand Blanc, up around Hawley and Fenton as well. But it's all very, very light. But without sunshine, it's tough to dry things out. So it's going to stay rather damp and dreary for the next couple of days. 51 the high today. Here are the averages. This is where we should be for this time of December, way above average levels. Right now, 44 Metro Airport, Pontiac 42. There's Howe coming in at 40 degrees. Once again, we do have some reduced visibility with fog and low clouds, so be on the lookout for that. Through the overnight into tomorrow morning, a light breeze from the north. The colder air is still way up to our north and west, so we're going to stay on the mild side for the next couple of days, but as low pressure rotates around, keeps us dreary for Thursday and for Friday. We'll get down to 43 with areas of fog and drizzle tonight. Back to 47 tomorrow. Occasional light showers, more the same on Friday. The weekend features cooler numbers, but nothing crazy. And there's New Year's Day, chilly at 35. That's on Monday. Remember, always get the latest forecast. Check it out. The Fox 2 weather app. You can download it for free in the App Store or in Google Play. Jessica, full check starting at 4 a.m.
Sounds good. Thank you, Rich. Former President Trump will stay on Michigan's primary ballot. The state Supreme Court refused to hear an appeal from a group trying to kick him off. That liberal-leaning group says Trump should be ineligible because of his role in the January 6th insurrection, citing the insurrection clause in the U.S. Constitution. Colorado kicked Trump off the ballot last week because of that.
Tried to overturn one election, Charlie, back in 2020. That's the basis for disqualifying him now. The Supreme Court of the United States can reach the constitutional issues in the Colorado case, and we hope they do.
The Colorado Republican Party is asking the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn the ruling that removed Donald Trump from the state's 2024 ballot.
I, as a citizen of Detroit, matter, and I want to make sure that we have representation that is real.
Michigan's Redistricting Commission had 3 members quit at arguably the worst time. 2 of those resignations, a Republican and a Democrat, happened after a court ruled 13 Detroit area House and Senate districts need to be redrawn. That ruling said the maps were unconstitutional and influenced by race. Those districts need to be redrawn by April 2024. A former state lawmaker underscores the importance of the redrawing.
They lacked cultural competency. And so, again, we have to make sure that locally now we get to weigh in, and we're calling people to the table that are a part of a number of organizations that may not have been a part of the lawsuit.
The Michigan Department of State will hold a random selection next Wednesday that will be live streamed on the commission's social media pages. Michigan's unemployment insurance agency gave $250 million to people who are dead or in prison. This is the shocking revelations from a report from the Office of the Auditor General. Of the $250 million of funds that were wrongfully distributed, nearly $2 million went out to others who were not eligible for unemployment money. There were also cases of the agency not following up with non-responsive employers. The period reviewed was between January 2020 and October 2022, when the agency saw a record number of unemployment requests due to the COVID-19 pandemic. At a time when police departments are having difficulty staffing nationwide, the Detroit Police Department is actually reversing that trend. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin tells us how the DPD is getting officers to join its force.
When a major city says they're able to bolster its police staffing to get at or near full staff, that certainly is newsworthy, but just as interesting, why other departments in Metro Detroit and around the state are unable to do that. We take a look at both of those issues.
We all played a great part in, fighting and advocating for our officers.
Detroit Police Commissioner Willie Burton reacting to the significant gains made by Detroit police in stemming the tide of city officers leaving the department for better paying jobs in the suburbs. He credits better pay as part of the reason for the strengthened force.
Being a police commissioner here in Detroit, representing the 5th District, I've seen many officers come and go in this past decade, but also seeing so many Detroit residents, advocate for officers' pay. And, the citizens of Detroit voices definitely was heard.
In a previously issued statement from DPD, administrators point to the new contract reached in 2022 for the progress. It raised pay for starting officers by $10 grand and allowed for lateral transfers to Detroit from other police departments. DPD says 41 officers have rejoined the force with more than 300 new cops hired. Political leaders say the timing could not be better, with homicides falling to a near 60-year low.
I'm happy for him because they got a good leadership there. I like the chief.
Jim Tiganelli is president of the Police Officers Association of Michigan. He says while Detroit was able to bolster its staffing, that's not the case for the vast majority of police departments across the metro area and the rest of the state. The reason, a decline in many areas.
It's being driven by the fact that there's nobody in the police academies. We've lost really a whole generation of young people that thought this was a good job. And our best recruiters were always senior officers. Your dad, your uncle, your baseball coach, who was a guy you admired and also was a policeman. And now most of them will say, well, there's no pension, there's no retirement health care. And the honor has kind of been lost its luster a little bit because of a few things.
And Jim Tiganelli says there are efforts by state lawmakers to bring about a fix to this problem. We will keep watching it as it all develops in 2024. Dave Kinchin on the Edge.
Get ready to step into a winter wonderland. The Detroit Riverfront Conservancy will kick off winter at Valade next weekend. The Detroit Riverfront will look like a medieval-themed fire and ice festival, January 5th through the 7th. The fun will include food, cultural events, live music, and more. You can expect to see more themed weekend events throughout the winter season.